I'm coming at you today with a Star Trek Online 2018 guide. It has been drawn to my attention that I should be doing this guide. I've done tips and tricks guides before to give you a little bit of intel. However, because so much has changed in the time since I've done them, I'm actually coming at you with a brand new video, brand new guide. So, you may have just started playing Star Trek Online, you may not, you may just be looking for some more intel, so if you do play already, do keep track, because you may find out something that you actually have never known before. So stay tuned. So, you're new to the game, you think to yourself, okay, I want to become good at this game, I want to do a lot. You may be struggling on a mission, not 100% sure on how to proceed. You may be stuck fighting an enemy who keeps destroying you. So I'm going to be here today to go through a lot of this stuff with you. So please bear with me, and we'll get through it all. So to begin with, you're going to need to start leveling up pretty shifty. Like you can, or one of the best ways to do is actually just nip into your deep space encounters, your level 30 deep space encounters in the beta quadrant, because that for some reason that's where Earth is actually located. The solar system's located in this game. So nip onto the deep space encounters. If you need to know what they look like, let me see if I can actually find one for you, and we can take you into there. But other than that, you can actually just follow the missions, the storyline, and you will actually start leveling up, and that's absolutely fine. However, you will come to a point at some point where you actually may feel you need to now level up to progress. So if that does occur, deep space encounters are like one of your best friends. Okay, they work really well. They give you a lot of XP. If I can find one, there's one right there. So they look like these little exclamation marks with a little like explosion scene around it. So you can just fly over to one of them. Unfortunately, you're not going to be as quick as as my ship's going to be, because obviously I am level 60. I am fully upgraded. I will take you into more about the upgrades later on in the video. So if I take you over to there now, I'll show you what they look like in space. I'm not actually going to go into the deep space encounter because it's just a battle zone. That's all it is. Ooh, abandoned ship. I don't need it. So you can see on your minimap on the right hand side that you have still got that little exclamation mark there. These things are a nuisance. They will disappear on you just like that. You could be this close and it just disappears. So this is what it's going to look like in the middle of space. Now when I first started, I was like, ooh, deep space encounter. I'm not 100% sure on what that is. I'm sure I'm not high enough level. But actually, if you're working with a group of friends, or working with another friend, or even if you're just, say, I would have said level 15 plus, you can actually be okay in one of these. You may detonate a lot, but I wouldn't worry about it. Just because there's no need. There's no need. You're going to get better stuff. As soon as you hit that level 60 mark, or level 50, 260 mark, you are actually going to be getting a lot of better stuff. So keep upgrading. Don't buy shit. Well, I say don't buy ships. Don't buy any ships yet until you hit that level 60 mark, or level 50 mark, sorry. Don't buy any ships from the store. There's no need. You're going to be getting a free ship every time you hit the next tier, which goes from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And you'll be getting a free ship every single one. You'll get a free ship token. So one of the main things you're going to be looking at is, at the beginning of the game, you would have chosen whether you are a tactical officer, an engineering officer, or a science officer. Now you have ships that will actually correspond with what you actually are. Such as, if you have a look to my left here, you've got the new Vanguard, the Crossfield, which is the USS Discovery. That's actually a science vessel, as it is in the program. Also got the ship I'm flying, which is a player on the Sovereign class, the Enterprise E, with a different hull, which is the main body, this bit here that my cursor's over. That's an engineering class. And then you have your little, like him, you have your little escorts, which are your tactical classes. So usually it's best to pick the ships that correspond with what you actually are. You've also got the ship on the right here, which is also a tactical ship. Not that one that just walked in. Oh yeah, no, that one as well. Yeah, that's cool. So my advice would actually be to pick the ship you actually want. Excuse me. Pick the ship that you want that's actually in your class range, and that will give you quite a big benefit to it because it actually is catered for your character. You don't have to. You can sit there and you can play like I am. I'm a tactical officer, but I'm in a engineering ship. But again, I've got enough gear on me to actually be able to hold my own pretty well on it. But you can see a lot of people actually play it, and you won't be too far off being able to find people to play with. In all fairness, there is a huge array of ships, absolutely massive. And I would definitely don't worry about leveling up. Just level up. Don't bother buying ships until you hit that level, that tier 6 ship mark, which is level 50 plus. And from there, but enjoy the game most of all. So, which brings me on to all the different ships. I will show you the ships now. You will be able to see this in your game, obviously. All you have to do is walk over to the shipyard lady and have a look at what she stocks. That's absolutely fine, you can find that. But there are two little sections, actually, which you may be thinking, I don't actually know what these are. It just says Fleet Tier 5, Fleet Tier 6. So, if you're new and you don't know what fleets are basically guilds or clans, excuse me, which they have in game. So you can join a fleet, and you would eventually be able to pick it up. As you can see here, you've got your fleet tier 5, you've got your fleet tier 6. They are just stronger versions of the tier 6 and the tier 5. So, congratulations. You've got to start off with a free tier 1, a free tier 2. If you do not care at all about spending the cash on these ships, and you just want to buy the ship that you want to get to use all the time, which is, gotta be honest, that is basically what I did. Through the whole of the game, I used the same class starship all the way through. I just kept buying the higher tiers of it every time. Then yeah, go for it. Do that. If that's gonna make you happy whilst playing the game, do that. Who am I or anyone else to say you can't do it? So they are fantastic little ships. You have a huge array. When you get to your tier 6, whatever it is, when you get to your tier 6 mark, you will actually have a wider range of ships to play with, and it's not just going to be Federation ships either. I'll just quickly take you onto the fleet ships. As you can see, it's basically all the previous tier 5, tier 6 ships. As you can see, it's basically it. That's all it is. Just dupes. But yeah, you can most certainly go and buy these from a fleet. Obviously, you will need to put the effort into leveling up to actually get higher up. If I can show you quickly what my fleet is. Boop. There we go. So just go on to the Find a Fleet, and it will come up with a mass ton of fleets, and there are hundreds. You can search through them, but start donating, help them out. A lot of people just say don't bother really worrying about a fleet until you're higher rank. However, if you get in there earlier, you don't have to wait as long. That's my opinion. Completely my opinion. That's it. So yeah, with your ships, you will have, if I can show you what we've got now, you have your fore weapons, you have your aft weapons. Obviously they do vary on what type of ship you have. Now, if you're stuck on a bit where you're constantly being destroyed, you don't feel you're doing enough damage, or you're not doing enough damage to destroy the enemy that you're facing, you need to have a look at your loadout. And it's a bit of a blunt way of saying it, but you need to look at your loadout, because that's going to tell you everything you need to know. So, on your weapons, stick to one energy type. Don't worry about having Disruptor, Plasma, Phaser. Don't worry about hitting all the stops. You don't need to do that. You just need to focus on one energy type. Because if you split them up, you're going to be hindering yourself quite a bit on some damage, because they stack and they do the extra bit of damage. Now, if you were to have Phasers and Disruptors, if you go over to your tactical consoles here, now I've actually got fleet tactical consoles. So, yours won't look like this at all, unfortunately. I will try and find them in my vault, see what I've got, if I've got any old ones. I might even be able to nip over to my inventory. No, I don't, so I can't even show you that. Do excuse me today. A bit of a dry throat. The tactical consoles that you're going to get are going to benefit your energy weapons. You'll get some that have specific energy weapon type. Like you can see in brackets up here it says Phaser, so that's going to benefit Phasers. But you have them for the Disruptor, Polaron, Tetrion, everything like that. You even have some that are energy damage consoles. No point in having them. Just go for the ones that actually target the energy type that you're using, because that's going to give you the biggest benefit. It's going to give you a huge biggest benefit. So on my loadout that I have, it's going to be very difficult for you to get anywhere near what the loadout I have if you've just started the game. I have some mission rewards, some rep rewards. I have normal crafted phasers, which good thing about this game now is they brought in a procedure called re-engineering, which if I can... Oh, I can't do that one. No. Re-engineer, there we go. So if you go into the re-engineer tab, you can actually unlock these. It's going to tell you how much it's going to cost and how much salvage you are going to need. So your salvage is another form of currency, but it's salvage components from things that you've destroyed. Which will be, when I say things you've destroyed, which will be things like this. If I click salvage item, yes, I've got those bits, and I've got that 135 salvage just come through there. So weapons that you craft, because you can craft weapons from your research and development. As you can see, I've got beams, cannons. When you get a high enough rank, you can craft omnidirectional, which is 360 degree targeting arc, and you can hit and make all of these. So that's going to be fine. Whilst I'm here, I will show you the consoles. This is what they're going to look like. You can see on the thumbnail there that they are all going to look like this. Avoid, to be honest, you might as well just avoid these. They're not going to do too much for you. So if you have these, that's fine. But you don't really need to worry about anything like upgrading them at all, because you can upgrade these consoles completely. You don't need to really worry about that right to begin with until you hit level 50. And then you can start upgrading them. However, the consoles I've just shown you, don't worry about upgrading. You're going to get up to Mark 12 stuff anyway, just from drops. So spam the game, get those drops, and go through that way. You really need to be in a fleet to be able to get the tactical consoles and get to the permissions where you can give you the tactical consoles. As you can see, I've got on there at the moment, because they're going to benefit you a huge amount, and then you can spam your upgrades on them rather than on consoles you're actually going to want to get rid of. You have a lot of different consoles that will help with resistance as well. So if you have a look at what we've got here, we've got the engineering, which will give you absolute all sorts. Now I have a mixed match because I use universal consoles in here. But engineering consoles, you've got stuff like your ablative hull armor, which will give you the resistance to the damage there. You've then got your enhanced neutronium alloys, all things like that. You've got your enhanced RCS accelerators. All sorts, absolutely all sorts. But personally, the way that I have this equipped is to get the most out of my ship as I possibly can at the moment. So some of these consoles you actually get here, some of them are actually known as the reputation consoles, or the reputation consoles, which you don't really need to worry about too much at the moment, depending on what level you are. If you are level 50 or plus, you can quite easily nip down to the reputation here. You've got all of these here. It's going to take a long time to actually upgrade them, but you'll be able to unlock lots of different things. Obviously, scan over it, see what you need, and then you craft it. You'll need to save out your mark, you need to save out your dilithium, and it can be a real pain in the rear end to actually get all that stuff, but you will eventually get hold of it, and you will be very happy that you decided to wait to upgrade. So I really wouldn't worry too much about upgrading your stuff now, because you are going to get a lot of better stuff later on in the game. So going back to upgrading everything, I never really left that either. You even upgrade your captain with specializations and all sorts. So specializations coming at a later date again. I've actually got 4 points I haven't spent yet, which I will spend at some point. But every time you ring up, you should be getting your space points, and you should be getting your ground points. Grade. And you want to basically unlock all of this. If you're a little bit unsure on what to unlock, depending on what your character is, you're going to want to focus more on the engineering, science, or tactical, whatever one you are. You're going to want to focus on that. So looking at mine, you can see these here. These basically show you how much you've unlocked, you know, where you're focused on. So as you can see on mine, I've actually focused on tactical. And that's actually to do a lot of energy damage, which allows my ship to pass the energy damage from the beam weapons through shields of enemy ships. And it works very well on a tactical ship in a PvP. But you may want a more spaced out. You know, you can do PvP if you wish. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't really do PvP, to be honest. I'm more of a PvE guy. I prefer that kind of side of it. But if I do PvP, I do know what I'm doing. I'm not the best player out there, not at all. But I can still hold on. But you want to upgrade to what you feel is going to best suit you. And each section will give you them. But you've also got, and I know... You know what, I think my headset cut out there a little bit. I know every one of my friends is going to kick me for this because I've never told him this, but if you go onto these little zigzaggy bits right here, you'll notice they will be flashing. You click A on them, you will get the choice of 2 things to buy. As you can see, you have projectile on this one, you have projectile critical chance, projectile critical damage, energy critical chance, energy critical damage. Being a Federation character which isn't Romulan allied, or a Romulan a character that's Federation allied. Other than that, if you're Romulan who's allied with Federation, don't worry so much. But if you're just a pure Federation character, it's a little bit harder for you to get this critical chance. And now what matters with this critical chance is when you're actually fighting an enemy, that is the chance to perform a critical hit. And then you have your critical damage, which increases the amount of damage to the enemy ship that you've just pursued. Which is why it's very good to have a set level of critical damage. Well, you can't see it there because I'm actually not... If you actually want to check your stats, I will put it in there quickly. Just return to your ship in a space dock and you will get your base stats. They will give you all the base stats you need. So you've got to be wanting to look for a critical chance of 20% minimum. And over 100% on the critical damage. And that will give you what you really need. As you can see, it's still not 100% the best, but I've actually only just used this ship just for one previous video, which I do applaud you to go and check out if you are interested in buying this ship. Go search on YouTube under the British Gamer Guys, and you will be able to find it. If you're watching this on YouTube, obviously just skip back like a video, because I think it's the video before this. But as you can see there, you have all sorts like your accuracy, your defense. Now the defense only sitting at 22 at the moment, but I am currently sitting still. The faster you are moving, the higher your defenses. So if you're sitting still when you see a defense like that, don't worry too much. As you can see there, it's now gone up to 82, but that's because I'm moving. So going through the whole loadout on your ship, it's personal choice on what you want. Excuse me, sir. It's absolute personal choice on what you want. On ships like this, because I run these in PvE, which is player versus enemy, in case, and I forgot I didn't even mention that, which is your AIs. It's just your AIs. You have your crew stations, which every time you get a new ship, you need to refill these. I didn't know that when I first started, and I got really annoyed that none of my abilities were there. So you have a look at these abilities, and you can. There's so much you can chuck on there. I haven't got a lot of them actually unlocked because I actually don't want them. That's my decision there. I really do not want them. You know, attack pattern Omega. I didn't. Oh, up and that's fine. Yeah, so you just need to install these, read through what they are. I mean, I'll use this on all of my builds, to be honest, which is directed energy modulation. This is the third in the installment, so it gives me a plus 10% energy weapon shield penetration. With all of my abilities and everything all logged on, whilst I'm going through battle, it actually does a huge amount through straight onto their hull, rather than just into their shields. There's a lot of the times I would actually just be fighting and the hull will deplete before the shields do. And that's, I mean, when I'm on my tactical ships, that's when it really does happen, because I've got cannons, I've got heavy dual cannons on there, and they are a lot more buffed, and they're absolutely fantastic to use. But yeah, so all these different abilities, they do have all their different effects, so have a good read through, see what you actually want. You know, I'm always happy for people to comment on my videos and ask me any questions. I'm always happy about that. So yeah, around your character skills, that's actually it on your character stuff, just there. What I will say, going back onto the weapons as well, on a cruiser, something like this, you don't want to be having cannons. Honestly, avoid cannons, just go for your beams. Your cannons are there for your escorts because they're quick turning, and they can really push out the damage more than what your cruisers can. However, they can't take as much damage. So they have that smaller hull right there. You have your science vessels, which are more catered for heals and energy drains, and and shields, everything like that. Your cruisers, which are they're really your tank ships. They are your tank ships. And your escorts, which are what I call the flitty little fairies. And I can say that mainly because I do use my escorts. You fly around like a fairy, and you can use your cannons very quickly, and it's a little bit harder to master the flight speed of them, especially if you've been using a cruiser for such a long time, like I did. You can really push out some damage with them, though. And I think it's a pretty easy game to get along with. If you are fighting AI, it's not too difficult. If you are having an issue, unfortunately there is 100% there is something wrong with your loadout, because you really shouldn't be having too much of an issue with it. So let's just walk to a second, because I'm going to I really do apologise about that. I'm probably going to cut that out, hopefully, if I can be bothered. Headset likes to cut out quite a bit. I need some new gear. Okay, there is nothing here. You can always change your instance, by the way, just by hitting Y when you're on your minimap. You can bring that up by pressing what used to be the select button. Let's go for the 38. Let's see, because I want to get us into a D-Space account before I engage any more on the video. But to be honest, I mean, I've covered quite a bit of it. I've covered your ship's abilities. I've covered ship weapons. I've covered pretty much everything, to be honest. there's not really much I can really go over more in this video. I can do that all again. I mean, this video is really for people who just wanted to start to see where they can go from here. Again, I'm always happy for people to actually request some information. I'm always happy for that. I'm always happy to give it out. So always please leave a message, just a quick jot down on one of my videos. If you're watching this on YouTube, just leave a quick message just down below, and I'm normally pretty good. I'll normally get back to you pretty much straight away, to be honest. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, let's take you into the battle so you can actually see some battles. These little things are your deep space encounters that you go for. I went through earlier on. I'm just recapping on it. I did mention that they are a pain in the rear end, especially when they want to disappear on you when you're about this close. So let's pop on into a deep space encounter, because I'm actually going to go through it now, because I think this will be more entertaining if you actually see some good space, some good space battle, to be honest. With the upgrades on your character, you basically have everything the ship does. You have your weapons, you have shields, your armor, and you can use it all. It's absolutely fine. Oh, a board cube! How nice. So when you're upgrading your stuff, don't really worry too much about upgrading your stuff until you hit, until the game actually brings out a upgrade weekend, because that's what's going to benefit you a lot. If you can play the game and get the Phoenix boxes, which are currently out at the moment, then you'll be able to hit a lot of upgrades when it comes to that upgrade weekend. And you'll be able to upgrade a lot further than just standard. You can craft upgrades in your research and development slot, or you can unlock them via certain lot boxes, like the Kelvin timer lot box. You will get upgrades there. So going outside, you can see obviously space battles. They're not that hard, to be honest. What's a lot easier is you can see I've got these green rings around them. That is basically an automatic use. It's literally just come on, you click that and it will automatically use it. As you saw, the beam's activated straight away. There we go. Let's slowly turn around. The cruisers are a little bit slower than a lot of other vessels, especially your more heavier ones. But you know, it's pretty fun. It's a pretty enjoyable game. I do always enjoy playing it, even if some people I play with don't enjoy. Yes, you know who you are. Not that you're ever going to watch the video, but you know who you are. But yeah, you have all these abilities. You can automatically use them. Now, what I will say is weapons that are in... Oh, it was you. Okay. Weapons of abilities that are in your slots. I've got a torpedo one. I've got a shield engineering shield one, and I have my tractor beam. They don't automatically use, unfortunately, even if you set into auto use. The only reason mine is set to auto use is because I believe I had 2 lots of it, which does actually use it. It's got one that's behind it, so it will eventually use it. Such a lovely game. Oh, a cube! I'm going to activate my evasive maneuvers just because I want to get over there. So, with your torps, I think I had a little bit of an issue there with the game just then. Primarily you want to use them when the shields are down. Again, unfortunately for me, it's a little bit harder because I have all that shield pen on, which enables me just to punch through the shields rather than actually hitting the shield, so I can just go straight through to the hole. But it's enjoyable. It's good. It flows pretty nicely, and it's just a very decent game, to be honest. So if you're enjoying it so far, I applaud you to keep on going. Don't quit. No, things will only get better. So look at your loadouts if you're having an issue. upgrade when you can. They give out tier 6 ships for free during the events, such as the summer event, the winter event, etc, etc. They do give them out, so you can quite easily get a nice tier 6 ship when you get up to the high ranked. So that's gonna be, I think, gonna be pretty much it for this video. I am very much aware that it was here, there, and everywhere with the with the topics. But you know, it just comes to me in that order. To be honest, I flit about because, well, that's just who I am. But I get to the point there and then. If you do have any questions, please, once again, feel free to ask me. Just drop me down a message on YouTube. I believe you can message me on Twitch as well, but don't really, so YouTube would be best. YouTube under the British Gamer Guys if you're watching this elsewhere. But do hop on if you have enjoyed it, or you do want to watch the rest of it, everything like that. But please leave a like and subscribe, and I would really appreciate that on YouTube, and that would, be absolutely fantastic. One little bit of advice I will give you: if you ever wonder what this nebula is here, if you're a lifetime subscriber, you can go to the sort of briefing area. Other than that, you can't actually access it, and so don't worry about it, because that's what I did when I first started. I was very concerned, like, oh, what is that? Why can't I go there, etc, etc. Don't worry about it. But once again, thank you for watching. If you do like, please subscribe and like the video, and I will very much appreciate that. Until next time, do check out the other videos as well. I've got some other good tips, tricks, everything like that on there, and I will catch you all again later. Cheers, guys. Bye.